Good evening, folks. We are back. It's Monday. It is not Sunday. Don't be confused. So before we embark on the big show, we have a couple of short ones, and we're going to start with one where we're talking about basically two false narratives, both coming from the right, in spite of the fact that the last name of one of these purveyors of misinformation might lead you to believe that he's on the left. But like I said, in my personal video on TikTok, don't be fooled by the name, because, you know, there's no comparison here. So we're going to turn this over to Dave.
So I have two right-wingers. One is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who actually filed to run for president and try to primary Biden as a Democrat. And then we have another guy who is in the Chicago Police Union, and he was actually kicked out as a police officer a couple of years ago for racist rants and talking about every Muslim should be shot in the head, that kind of thing. That individual's name is John Catanzara, and both of these individuals have said something to this effect, and I'm paraphrasing, that basically we have it worse than people in the during the Holocaust because of vaccines. That's the first thing. Well, then you guys are admitting that the Holocaust exists. You have a lot of these guys denying that the Holocaust exists, and there's a reason why they do that, because the Holocaust was created by fascists, and we are knee deep in fascism right now. We're in the first stage or two of fascism in the United States, and we have to fight this tooth and nail. So that's the first false narrative. And by the way, vaccines have been around way longer than the COVID vaccine. Okay, so we need to stop that right now. It has eradicated diseases throughout history. Measles is coming back because kids aren't being vaccinated because out of fear.
Right. Because
of Andrew Wakefield and a bunch of, anti-vax crazies.
Right.
So that's the first.
Polio.
Yep, same thing with polio.
So let me just tell you my experience with one person when I made my video about RFK Jr. One guy got back to me and said, basically, so you don't believe in free choice? And I, of course, went back and forth with him for a few minutes, and he said, well, I just want to be clear that I'm not against all vaccines. I'm just against the COVID vaccine because it's been proven to be dangerous. So I said, really? How has that been proven to be dangerous? I said, it saved millions of people around the globe, actually, and there's not one incident where you can point to that vaccine having killed anyone. I'd like to know where that's coming from. Here's my email. Just send me what you've got.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've been checking my email for the last couple of days. There's nothing there. I'm sure he's referring to the VAERS system, which is just a place where people can go to make shit up if they choose. Honestly, it's an open reporting system, and anyone can go in there and say, my 89-year-old grandmother got a vaccine a week ago, and today she's, dead. And, but what people don't understand about the VAERS system is that all of that has to be tracked and verified before it can be proven to be tied to a vaccine. And again,
right.
in my opinion, they should get rid of that whole system.
There was an infinitesimally small percentage of people who were affected, and we had vaccines halted for a short time because of it. Right. And all of those people, to the best of my knowledge, had pre-existing conditions, had heart conditions, had whatever. So
now
cut it.
In some people, it did cause myocarditis, which was treatable.
Right.
And you know, look, you've got a country full of 337 million people. You've got a world full of what? 9 billion people?
Right.
When you create a medication, no matter what it is, there is always going to be a percentage of the people who have a hard time with that, with a medication.
Right.
Always. Because no scientist, no researcher, no doctor can possibly account for everybody's individual body composition. All right. It just is the way it is. People didn't know they were allergic to penicillin until they took penicillin.
Right.
So you're always going to have that. But you just don't go around spreading ridiculous rumors and creating fear, uncertainty, and doubt around something that is pretty much safe for the majority of people. Now, we have had over a million, well over 1 million people dead in this country during COVID. And that should never have happened here. It is estimated that between the misinformation and the mishandling of the entire COVID situation in the United States by the Trump administration, which also spread misinformation, that at least 300,000 people died that should not have died.
Yep. And by DeSantis, by the way. DeSantis created a cesspool in Florida.
Right. We had more people over the age of 65 die from COVID in his state than any other state in the country.
Yep.
So, you know, again, let's get real, okay?
That's number one. Number two, real quick, Justin Pearson and Justin Jones in Tennessee, they did not participate in an insurrection. That was a peaceful protest. Yes, they broke a house rule in Tennessee for which they are being, what they were removed, which they're trying to get them back in. But they were protesting gun violence after 3 kids and 3 school workers were killed. And they were responding to their constituents. It's different than trying to keep a despot in a position.
Right.
It just simply is.
So someone grabbed the bullhorn and yelled. Okay, that's
Yep.
not an insurrection. If you want an insurrection, I'll make sure I put in all the stuff from Parler so you can look at it. Okay,
Right.
I'll put all of that in. You can see what an insurrection looks like versus a peaceful protest. Okay. And by the way, the required punishment for what they did was censure. It was not removal.
Yep.
What they basically did was remove 2 black people, and the only white person who participated managed to survive the vote. I'm going to call it racism right off the top. I'm not going to. I'm not
Well,
mincing it.
Deb, she was civil. Stop it.
Yeah,
Just stop it.
civil. Yeah. Okay. Well, she herself said that the only reason she survived
Yep.
was because she's a white woman.
Yep.
She's not stupid. She knows what she's talking about. So that's where we are.
That's what we got.
And by the way, RFK Jr., he's not a Democrat. I'll talk to you later.